Armenia is walking away from Moscow. And this time, it's not in whispers. It's in headlines, policy shifts and bold diplomatic moves. For decades, Russia stood as Armenia's security guarantor in the South Caucasus. That myth has crumbled when Azerbaijani forces launched deadly attacks on Armenian territory in 2021 and 2022. Moscow's silence was deafening. The Kremlin offered no military support, no serious mediation, just excuses. The final straw came in 2023, when Azerbaijan recaptured Nagorno-Karabakh. Russian peacekeepers stood by and watched. In the eyes of Armenians, this was not just abandonment, it was betrayal. Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan responded by suspending Armenia's participation in the Russian-led CSTO. Armenian officials no longer speak of the alliance in hopeful terms. They speak of it in the past tense. What's emerging now is a calculated, determined pivot. Armenia is forging closer ties with the European Union, deepening cooperation with the United States, and even exploring normalization with Turkey. The old dependency on Moscow is being replaced with a web of strategic partnerships across continents. This is not a symbolic drift. It is a break. At the 2025 Yerevan Dialogue, a high-level summit on peace and security, delegates came from the US, EU, UK, India, Iran, and beyond. Russia, nowhere to be seen. The exclusion wasn't accidental. It was deliberate. Back in Moscow, the Kremlin is scrambling. Sergei Kiriyenko, Putin's deputy chief of staff, has reportedly been tasked with rescuing Russian influence in Armenia. The plan? A tired combination of pro-Kremlin telegram channels, nostalgic propaganda, and political puppets. But it's not working. A 2024 poll shows only 31% of Armenians view relations with Russia positively. That figure was 93% just 5 years ago. Russian influence is collapsing among the youth, the diaspora, and the emerging middle class. Armenia's streets tell the story. Russian speakers are fewer. The young prefer English. Many of the Russians who fled to Yerevan in 2022 have already left. They were never embraced, and they're not missed. None of this means Armenia is cutting off Moscow entirely. Trade ties remain. Russian gas still heats Armenian homes. But the political relationship has been downgraded from partner to vendor. Even Pashinyan's trip to Moscow on Victory Day was seen as a formality when Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov flew to Yerevan days later. He wasn't visiting an ally. He was visiting a skeptic. And the skepticism runs deep. The Armenian government now openly accuses Moscow of backing anti-democratic actors. There's talk of Kremlin-linked destabilization attempts ahead of Armenia's next elections. In short, Armenia is asserting its sovereignty, not with bravado, but with policy. This realignment offers an opportunity for the West. If Europe is serious about expanding its influence in the post-Soviet space, Armenia is ready. But readiness demands reciprocity. Armenia needs infrastructure investment, political backing, and security cooperation. Brussels must stop hesitating. Washington has already stepped up. France has already won trust. Germany, the UK, and others must follow. This isn't just a story of Russia's decline. It's a story of what comes after. A multipolar world, a South Caucasus where nations make choices not based on fear, but on interest. Armenia has made its choice. The post-Soviet order is fading, and this time, Moscow can't stop it. If you want more sharp European-led analysis on the shifting balance of power, subscribe to Western Relations. Like the video, leave a comment, and stay tuned. We're just getting started.